Good afternoon, everybody. Uneducated Economist here. So I went and stopped by my post office box, and I haven't been out there for a little while, so I had quite a bit of mail. And, you know, I really appreciate the stuff that you guys send me when you do. UFO Engines has been really busy, and he's sent me quite a bit of stuff, and he does some really good postcards here. Now, these are just regular old postcards that he has sent me, but he has some pretty fun stuff that he talks about on the back of these things. I'm not going to read you all of them, but just to kind of show you some of the stuff that he puts on there. Yeah. Very cool stuff. Thank you, UFO Engines, for sending me some of these postcards here. I should show you. I could show you like a great video of all the different stuff that he has sent me, but he puts like together some pretty wild stuff. Oops, this one. Hammer blow goat food makes good goats strong and strong goats good. I don't know. I guess that's for farming or something. I'm not sure exactly what that means, but on the back here, you write some pretty cool stuff. It says, stop deflation. Seems to be a big push for the economy right now. And that's where a time limited $5 or 500 grand debit card would be super handy. Now mailed out to the poor big daddy Uncle Sammy. Anyway, is this the beginning of universal basic income? Yeah. What else does he have written here? If and when you get your $2,000 from the government, what do you plan to buy with it? I have to pay down debt. As for making a buck on this corona, check out what our Senator Kelly Loeffler pulled off, dumped millions on insider info before the markets crashed. So cool. The local Mickey D's is so cool. The local Mickey D's is takeout only. I still get my biscuits. So thank you, UFO Engines. Very fun stuff that he puts together. This one actually came to me probably a little over a month ago, and this was pretty cool. I wanted to do a video right away from it, and I kind of slipped it away into my safe and didn't really forget about it. I just been meaning to do a video on it. But this is what this gentleman, Corey, had said. He goes, I watched one of your videos where someone had sent you an old bill. Went through some old change of my dad that my dad had collected for me years ago. Found a couple of good condition ones for your collection. Thanks for all the information you collect for all of us on your videos. And it's really cool. He sent me this really good kick-ass United States of America note, not a Federal Reserve notes, but United States of America note. You can tell with the red dot there. Very cool. Maybe we'll do a video talking about United States of America notes. And then also in this package, this is a really good piece, and it's in really awesome condition too. It's a 1989 silver dollar. Very cool. Thank you so much, Corey. I really appreciate it, man. And this is probably one of the nicest dollars that I have seen in a long time as far as the condition of it goes. I mean, there's like the detail on all the features of the coin are in really good shape. It looks like somebody took very good care of this coin while they had it. So I'm very much appreciative of that. Most of the silver dollars that I have look really worn. So that's a really nice piece for my collection, and I really appreciate it. Haven't opened this one yet. This one, like I said, this one came in the mail today, all the way from Victoria, Canada. So we're going to find out what this one has in it. And yeah, I'm kind of excited about this one. So let's see what he has to say here. This come from, well, I guess I don't want to give their name in case they want to stay anonymous. So we'll just pull it out here and see what it says. Oh, wow. Oh, way cool, bro. Very cool. 50 Canadian dollars. Oh, right on, man. Thank you so much. Very cool. Very, very cool. It says, Dear Simon, thank you very much for the great service. most economists obscure things with too much, I'm sorry, I'm a terrible reader, too much things uh, with too much jargon and make important information more complicated than it needs to be. Keep up the great work. Sincerely, I'll give you his first name, Paul. Thank you very much, Paul from Victoria. Man, that is so awesome. It's cool. These Canadian, I haven't seen one. I've never actually held one of these Canadian dollars, but they have these cool windows in the middle of it. And I guess that's the security feature for it. Man, right on. Thank you so much, brother. You guys are so awesome. You really are. I mean, I really appreciate all this stuff. And, you know, UFO Engines, he sends me something like quite a bit. I've gotten economic books, like old economic textbooks that he finds maybe at the, at the thrift store or wherever he happens to find them. But he sent me some books. He's sent me a lot of postcards, a lot of different information. Thank you, Corey. These are definitely awesome pieces that I'm going to put in my collection. And thank you to the other guys who've sent me stuff in the past. Every once in a while somebody will send me a letter of appreciation or a postcard, or Acme Jetpack sent me the cup and some other things as well. And I really appreciate that stuff, guys. Thank you. Thought I'd talk. Don't want to leave you without any information. Thought I'd talk a little bit about the forbearance. Was reading an article today, and I'll leave a link down in the description for it. But they're talking about what happens at the end of this forbearance, and we are looking at a heck of a lot of delinquencies that come from the end of this. And if you can't, I was thinking about this because right now people are going into forbearance, meaning that they don't have to make their payments right now, and they're not going to be penalized by going into default or, messing up their credit and stuff like that. But at the end of the forbearance period, if they do not come up with all the back payments, then they have to roll that over. And this is where I get a little confused on what's going to happen here, because if you have to roll that over to the end of the loan, basically, from what I've gathered, and maybe I'm wrong on this, and maybe somebody else has some information, maybe they've talked with some mortgage lenders and the mortgage servicers on this. But from what I'm getting on it, or at least from what I've gathered, is that at the end of the forbearance period, if you do not come up with all the back payments, then you have to roll that over into a new loan. Like you have to refinance your house, and they'll tack it on at the end, but it's still, you have to extinguish the first contract and reestablish a new one. So that makes me wonder, is like, well, what happens if you're still not employed? Does it, if you don't have a job, or say maybe you don't have the access to the money that you need to pay it off, then, or what if interest rates rise? I mean, I got all these questions that kind of run. So I was thinking, like, at the end of this forbearance period, even if it's just 3 months or the 12 months, like, a lot of these government-backed loans are saying that they're going to allow the people to hold back on paying. I mean, certainly most people are not going to be able to come up with an entire year's worth of payments. So these are going to have to roll over into new loans. And at that point, that's where I'm kind of concerned, or trying to figure out exactly what is going to take place right there. Because if you don't have the available employment to make the payments, then who's going to be offering you a loan? Like typically, lenders want to know that you have a job history and that you're going to be able to make the payments on this new loan that you're about ready to sign. And if you can't make that loan payment, then most likely you're not going to get the loan. So at the end of this forbearance, are the defaults and delinquencies going to start kicking in? So that's really kind of the question that I'm putting out there for us to discuss down there in the comment section, is what happens at the end of this forbearance? Does the loan need to be reestablished? Like, do you extinguish out the first loan and refinance into another loan? And if that's the case, what are interest rates going to be at that time? Are you going to end up having to make bigger payments because the interest rates rise? Now, I know right now there's like interest rate rising into the future doesn't seem like a very likely possibility. But if you start pumping out all this money into the system and the money velocity starts picking up, the only way to combat money velocity is with higher interest rates. And, somebody had asked Alan Greenspan a while back, I was like, well, there's no chance of interest rates rising into the future. And he was like, wait a minute, what was that? And they said, well, you don't really expect interest rates to rise into the future, do you? And he says, yeah, I wouldn't hold my breath on that. Meaning at some point, interest rates are going to be rising into the future. Now, whether it happens by the time the forbearance ends, who knows? But that's kind of the question that I put out there right now, is that what is going to happen at the end of this forbearance? Do we start seeing a huge amount of delinquencies? Or is the government going to step in with even more purchasing of mortgage-backed securities to bring the interest rates down? And if that's the case, are the mortgage servicers are going to be, in the mortgage lenders, like the whole industry itself, are they going to be able to provide these loans to people who may not have a job or may not have the employment the employment history in order to get a loan? You see where I'm getting at this? Because most people who are going into forbearance are probably generally people who have lost their jobs. So anyway, thank you guys for the mail, and hope that wasn't too confusing. I hope I didn't ramble on too much there. Uneducated Economist, you guys let me know.